Hey, so I wanted to do a video on the new Warrior V1 Pro stick that I bought. It just came in today, so this is just going to be like initial impressions because I haven't been able to use it yet. But I feel like there's still a decent amount I can go over just as far as initial impressions, and also just comparing it to some other sticks that I have, mainly the Warrior Pro foam core stick, which is what I mainly use, and also the Bauer 1S stick, which I've used in the past. I still have one now. I don't use it anymore, but just for comparison's sake, I have it. I'll go over the weights of all of them because I feel like that's mainly what people seem to be concerned about, especially with composite sticks, is they just want the lightest and they want to know how much everything weighs. So just to start off first, I kind of want to go over what's been my stick preference. I've been playing for going on 23 years now. So obviously for a big chunk of that, there were no composite sticks. So I used the foam core, liked it, it was fine. I'm the kind of person where once I get used to using something, I don't necessarily jump at like new stuff that comes along. I'll kind of stay in my ways and stick with what I'm comfortable with. So when the composite sticks came out, I didn't really like jump on that, whatever. But over the years, every now and then I've tried a few here and there, just out of curiosity to see, and I've never been convinced to switch fully to a composite stick. I've always gone back to the foam core. I mean, it feels comfortable, and yes, it's a little heavier, but for me, it's just the durability is so much better, at least in my experience with the foam core, that it does not justify spending double or even more than double the price for a composite stick just for the weight savings, which to me is not something I even notice that much out on the ice. It's something I'll notice when I have like two sticks in my hand and I'm really trying to think about it, comparing it. I can kind of notice it more there, but when I actually play, it's not a big deal for me, the weights of sticks. So like I said, just the price point of these composite sticks is it's a little too high for me as far as how long they last. No composite stick I've ever used, again, I've only used a few here and there. No composite stick I've ever used has lasted me more than 3 months. They've all broken, and I mean broken to the point where you can't use it, like broken in two, within 3 months. Compare that to foam core stick. My foam core sticks last me anywhere from 8 months to close to a year. And even then, when I stop using it, it's more that I just retire it because it's gotten so beat up from so much use. I mean, I play 3 to 4 times a week. So it's just that I retire it because it looks so ragged and it gets so beat up. But it's not that it's like broken in two or broken so bad that I can't use it. I could technically still keep using it. I don't even know how long it would take then for it to get to a point where I just absolutely couldn't use it anymore. But I more just retire my old beat up sticks, foam core sticks, as opposed to it breaking and I just can't use it anymore. So like that durability to me is just worth the value to stick with foam core. Now the thing is, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I've been hearing that Warrior is maybe not going to be making foam core sticks anymore. They want to transition to just all composite, which I guess business-wise you can see because they're obviously making more money from composite sticks. Now, if that's the case, then I would either have to transition to a composite stick if I wanted to stay with Warrior, or I'd have to go with a different brand if I wanted to stay with the foam core. So I figured I'd give the Warrior composite a try. I've never used Warrior composite before. All the composite sticks I've used in the past are like Bauer, CCM, or Sherwood. So here is the Warrior V1 Pro stick. This is their new line, the V line. This is their new line of composite sticks. It's just gonna take over, I guess, for the CR1 or the CR line. They're the top of the line of that being the CR1. So from what I gathered, this is the one that's comparable to the CR1, which was their top of the line with the CR line. However, now with the V line, they now have incorporated a new stick at a higher price point. That's now their new top of the line one, which is really meant to compete with the Bauer 1S, 2S sticks, especially as far as weight, because while the CR1 was their previous top of the line stick, it was still a decent amount heavier than the Bauer 1S. So I guess now they figure they need to really compete in that ultralight composite market. So now they have the V1 Pro Plus, and that is their top of the line one. That being said, this is still a $200 stick, and it's still, I would call it, you know, pro level. I mean, it was equal to their pro line, their top of the line pro stick from their previous line. So, but just to be clear, this is the V1 Pro. There's also a V1 Pro Plus. That costs about $300, which is like what the same price as for the Bauer 2S, I believe. So this is $200. So just looking at it first, obviously the first thing you notice is how it looks, its graphics. I think it looks pretty good. For the most part, I felt over the years that composite sticks are kind of ugly. I've just, for whatever reason, to me, the foam core sticks have looked better. But, and I'm talking about like the retail stock graphic. I'm not talking about, you can go custom like Warrior, you can go custom with this stick. Make it look a little more like a foam core stick, which, and by that what I mean is like foam core sticks are usually kind of a solid color paddle, solid color at the shaft, and then the logos would be a different color, but it's more like a uniform color, whereas I feel like most composite sticks, and you can even kind of see with this, it has like all these different colorways, has multiple colors, and to me that's usually kind of ugly, but I like the way this looks. I mean, if I was going custom, yeah, I would make it more looking like a foam core stick, but I don't think this looks bad. I have no problem with the way this looks. I mean, that's obviously not that important of a thing, but still, I mean, it is something people look at, you know, how a stick looks. So just feeling it, I mean, obviously you can tell it's light. I mean, any composite stick today is going to be lighter than a, you know, you're going to feel it and you're going to notice just by holding it that it's lighter than a foam core. It's got these, I feel like most composite sticks these days now has some sort of like grip technology for where you hold it. So I'll try to get a little closer. I don't know if you can see like the ridges, I don't know how good you can see it, but it's got like these little raised areas there. That's the grip. And then it also extends up the shaft here. Again, I don't know how good you can see that. I think you can kind of see it there. You'll see like these little lines going up there. So from what I've read, the literature Warriors put out, here, the grip part here is supposed to help you hold it. And then the lines that go up this way are supposed to help slide the stick slide through your hands for like poke checking and stuff like that. With the Bauer 1S stick that I've had before, and I'll talk about it more when I get to the Bauer 1S stick, but I feel like the grip part that you actually hold the stick had more tackiness to it on the Bauer. Like that, I didn't use any tape when I used the Bauer 1S stick. I was able to just use it how it came, and it felt good in my hand, like it stayed in my hand good. Obviously with foam core sticks, I have always used tape in this area to help the grip. Just because I want to get the full experience of this, when I do try it for the first time, I'm going to try it like this. However, just by looking at it, I don't feel like it's going to give me enough grip, or at least the grip that I'm looking for out of that area. Because while it has the raised edges, it just does not have the same stickiness, tackiness to it. I feel like, and looking at the Bauer 1S, and then looking at these, I feel like what the difference is this one, while it has the raised edges, it's still, the raised edges themselves are still smooth. On the Bauer, the little raised edges have like a grit to them. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like rough. It has a grit to it, and that's what's providing, I feel like, more tackiness to it. So this has some, but because the raised areas are still smooth, I feel like it still makes it a little more slippery. So that's like the grip technology on it, whatever. The other thing is this Vibex technology I put in it. So like one of the things with composite sticks that people complained about, it's gotten better with all sticks now, but especially earlier on, older composite sticks was, the main complaint was like how it vibrated when it got hit by mainly pucks, obviously, but whatever, it would just vibrate when it got hit by something. It would just feel weird, you know, it's not, you don't get that with a foam core stick. So this has what's called the Vibex dampening technology. Now, obviously I haven't used this. I just kind of did little testing, kind of banging it around on the floor, just banging it on stuff to try to get it to vibrate. And I did notice that this did feel more like a foam core as far as like not vibrating. I do feel like this has a little bit better vibration dampening than my Bauer 1S. It's not a huge thing, but I would give the edge ever so slightly to this Warrior stick as far as the vibrating. Now, that being said, it's not an issue to me really with the 1S too. I feel like that had good vibration dampening also. So it's not an issue where like the Bauer 1S was bad and this is good. I feel like they're both good. If I have to give an edge, I feel like this Warrior has a slight edge as far as you don't get that composite vibration effect going on. And overall, I would even say that this is a little more foam core feeling. And I believe it's, from what I understand, it's by design that Warrior wanted to kind of make a composite stick that has the lighter weight, but you still kind of get that foam core feel for guys like me who have been hesitant to switch to a composite and really like the foam core. And I feel like overall that's kind of a good way to describe this, is it's a composite stick and it's light, but it kind of still has that foam core feel. Finally, I guess I'll talk about like the balance as far as the weight. So overall, again, it's light. I would say though, compared to the Bauer 1S, which I feel like the Bauer 1S is the weight balance on it is just excellent. Like it feels super light and it feels completely even, the weight throughout. Like I don't notice more weight being at one end than the other. And that's kind of weird because obviously a stick, goalie stick, you got the paddle at one end, which is thicker than the shaft. So normally you'd get more weight down here just because of the shape of the stick. But with the Bauer 1S, it's really well balanced. That's probably like the thing that stands out to me the most with the 1S. I was really impressed with how balanced it felt. Also how ridiculously light it is. But so this one, like I said, I guess going along kind of with the foam core feel of it, I feel like you do feel when you're holding it, you do feel a little bit more of that weight down at the bottom than at the top. And now comparing that to my foam core stick, the foam core stick obviously is heavier overall, but I have to say I feel like the foam core stick is a little more balanced than this stick. I'm talking about the Warrior foam core stick. So I'll bring that out right now actually. This is my foam core stick. So obviously it's heavier overall, but still I feel like when you hold it, you feel like it's not that much heavier at the bottom than it is here. Guessing that's because up here it's solid wood and here's the foam core. So even though this is a bigger area, maybe the wood is denser and it has a little more weight to it, and that's what makes it even out, as opposed to the V1 Pro stick that I guess can't, since it's so light up here, it can't really compensate for the extra surface area down here. So you just feel it a little more. It's not like a horrible thing. It's just something that I did notice. It remains to be seen if it's something that affects me when I play. You know, it might be something where, like I say, the overall weight, I don't really notice much when I play. So it could be the same kind of thing where I don't notice how that it's a little bottom heavy, this stick. So that remains to be seen whether that's actually a big deal, whether it's a negative or what. I think that's about all I can go over with this without having used it. So let me just talk a little bit about the 1S and compare it to some things I was talking about before. So like I said, it's very well balanced. I really do not notice much weight difference from the top to the bottom. It just feels like one singular lightweight thing in my hand. And then, so going back to now the grip technology that I feel is superior on the Bauer. Again, I don't know how good this is going to come across on the camera here, but so these raised edges here definitely have much more stickiness, tackiness to it. It's not even close. And like I said, it's because, and I would try to show you, but I don't think you can really see it. But with these, each raised line here, within that line, it's just like a roughness to it. And that's what's causing it to stick to your hand better. So definitely 100%, I do not need to tape this when I use a 1S stick. I have a feeling I'm going to need to do that with the Warrior stick, but like I said, I'll give it a try without and see what happens. So finally, I'm just gonna go over the weights of all this stick because I know that's what a lot of people are concerned about. So I have one of those little scales. I weighed them all. So obviously the foam core is gonna be the heaviest. So the foam core stick came in at 893 grams. The Warrior V1 Pro stick came in at 735 grams. So just from going from the Warrior foam core to the composite, you're saving, what is it, 160 grams. It's a decent amount. The Bauer 1S stick weighs in at 678 grams. Excuse me. So that's pretty light. I mean, that's way lighter than the foam core. That's a little over 200 grams lighter than the Warrior foam core. It's about 57 grams lighter than the Warrior composite. So, you know, 57 grams, is that really something that you feel like you're gonna notice during the course of play? Obviously the Bauer, there's no denying, is lighter. 57 grams. The Bauer price point is about $100 more than this Warrior stick that I have. So, you know, it's just a mess. Some people, they don't care. They just want the absolute complete lightest thing. To me, weight of equipment, I mean, yes, all things being equal, I'll take the lighter stuff, but it's never been like the top priority in any of my equipment, you know, because I feel like ultimately it's not something, when you're talking about grams and stuff like that, it would have to be a huge difference to notice it on the ice. And for the most part, unless you're talking about equipment from like different eras, as long as you're comparing equipment that's coming out in the same general timeline, it's not that big a deal weight-wise. But that's just my opinion. Other people have different opinions. So I'll do another video a little later after I've gotten a chance to really use the stick on the ice and test it out. But I just wanted to kind of put this initial impression video out, and it's a new stick, so there might be interest from people curious about it. Seems to be a pretty good stick. I'm excited to use it, give it a try, see if maybe this will be the one to make me want to switch to a composite. We'll see. All right, I'll see you guys next time.